Morning, Doug.
Hello, how's it going?
Really well.
Yeah. You can add your name to the agenda if you want. Let me paste it. I wish the chat would show the history when people join, but there's the agenda.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm in the traditional friendliness and figuring out what the hell is going on stage.
Well, okay. Let me ask you a question then. Sure. Where are you from? Because I don't think we've met before.
I'm from Cisco.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no.
I guess I could have looked at what you wrote in the doc, couldn't I?
You actually asked me before I noted it in the doc, so you're good.
Ah, okay, good. So you didn't take over for Ken when he left Cisco, did you?
I'm not sure anyone can fill Ken's shoes.
Well, that's a given, yeah.
But I'm certainly a Cisco person who is sort of wandering through this space in the broad.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, I'm doing my very best Ken impersonation and feeling slightly not up to the task.
Understood.
Yeah, Doug, you beat me to it on the. I was just about typing my name, and I saw you typing in before.
Yeah, well, I'm easily distracted from my real work, so.
Hi, Ed. Good to see you on. This is Mark Peak.
Good to be on.
We interacted a bit ago at Cisco, some of the open source activities.
Yeah, it's remarkable how many open source activities eventually wander over my desk. It's good to see you again.
You guys can't see my screen, right?
We can see it.
Yep, I'm currently seeing it.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
All right, guys. Sebastian here from Bitnami, presenting Kubeless.
Hey, Sebastian. Tell you what, I'll go ahead and try to add you in there if I can spell it right. So you're from Serverless, right?
Bitnami.
Oop.
Bitnami.
Bitnami, sorry. Gosh, my machine is just not working for me.
Yeah, it seems like it froze up right now, unless you're not typing. There you go.
Well, yeah, I did type his entire name, and then it just sort of vanished on me. I don't know what I did.
It's my name. It does that to machines. You
know? Now that'd be kind of funny.
And you're from Kubeless, right, Sebastian?
Yes, correct.
Oh, Dan, fix that for me, will you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep track of the working group, but sadly I haven't managed to attend and participate as much as I would like to.
All right, we're getting some more people. Let's get even. Since we have such a short agenda, let's give you another minute or so to join. And we have a very short attendee list today. It's kind of weird.
Hey, Doug. This is
Okay.
Kathy. Could you add my name?
I can certainly try.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Louis. Can you add my name as well, please?
Sure. All right, tell you what. Why don't we go ahead and get started? It's kind of hoping Ken would be on, but I guess he's swamped. So, very short agenda for today. Going through the white paper, landscape, and the presentation that Ken put together for the TOC. So first off, the white paper. Geez, my machine is just going so slow. Okay, so let's see. Last week, near the end of the week, Dan went through and made the final round of edits based upon Alex's comments and suggested edits. And as of right now, we have no comments, no changes whatsoever in the doc, so that's all good. And so I guess at this point in time, it's worth asking the question, is there any concerns with the doc, any very, very large issues people want to bring up? Because otherwise, I think we're basically done, and we're prepared to take this to TOC and say, what do you guys think? Any comments, questions, concerns? Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear. Okay, now, the other thing I did want to mention is the landscape doc. If it can come up. Now, the only reason I wanted to jump over here quickly is because I did want to point out that there are 2 outstanding comments on the documentation, on the doc itself. Lawrence has one, and I think, what is the lady's name? I want to say Sarah. Yes, Sarah. They both have a couple of comments in there. I'll take the action item to try to address those. I don't think they're significant in nature. I think that you just need to try to address them one way or the other. But I will try to do that unless someone else really wants to. But other than that, I guess the question here again is there any concerns or comments about this spreadsheet that people want to address before we show it to the TOC? All right, excellent. Not hearing any.
Hold on a second. Doug, just one question. So
Yeah.
you go over the services tab. So this kind of breaks it down between like FAS and BAS, I guess is what, or yeah, I think we always had this open question around it. So what fits under the serverless umbrella in terms of not only the compute, the functions engine, but external services that might need to be in there? What's basically your definition of projects versus serverless? Like what would fall under each tab?
Right, so since I created those tabs, let me comment,
Yeah,
which
go ahead.
was that really this should be serverless technologies landscape as opposed to just serverless, to make sure that we are embracing OSS and potentially non-serverless but on-prem use cases. With respect to projects, this was intended to be more the functions as a service, and then on services, you're right, that is more of the backend as a service type of services.
Would it be bad to do that kind of thing to differentiate the two? Put a back end as a service in there. Why? Well, let me edit this. There we go. And then put, no, I don't want to put FAS there because that's going to piss off some people.
I would do serverless / FAS and leave it at that in the first tab.
Okay, hold on a sec.
Because so one could be a platform that the consumer, and then one is the open source projects. And I think that makes sense. And then for services, I would assume then that basically anything on this list doesn't stay in this list, because you've basically talked to all the lines 1 through 7 in the first one, right?
So you're suggesting we remove these first couple of lines, is that correct?
Yeah, because if we have because they will fall into the first tab.
So Mark, would you agree with that?
The thing is that if you look at type of services, something like AWS Lambda, well, it's not Lambda, it's really more AWS. You could say that there's S3, there's SQS, SNS, etc. So how would you? Wouldn't those be more of the backend as a service delivery?
Like the supporting services that are not the fast engine.
Yes. That was the intent.
Yeah.
So I guess so Mark, is it fair to say that the difference in your mind is the projects page basically shows everything that is a FAS or serverless platform, but only a subset of those, meaning the ones listed here, actually offer additionally backend as a services.
That's right.
Got it. That makes sense to you, Dan?
Well, if that's the case, then I would change this to be just AWS, not AWS Lambda, and Google.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and like hyper.sh instead of hyperfunc, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I decided not to differentiate the services that some of these clouds provide. I didn't think that I had room in a spreadsheet, nor could that be kept up to date.
So is that more accurate now, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anything else?
Does Hyper provide cloud services, public cloud services?
They do. If you go to hyper.sh, they've got a platform for running like Docker containers on them. I think their Func thing is fairly new, though. It's a subset of what they offer.
Okay.
Well, actually, Doc. Actually, Huawei Cloud also provide backend as service like storage, messaging. Yeah, quite some. I can add that in later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Please do. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Aside from
can you fix the Nginx, because it's probably not getcong for Nginx.
Oh, that would not be right. Yeah. I'll get the URL later. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? I mean, obviously, there may be more typos and stuff in there, but at a high level, are there any concerns with taking this forward?
It just needs more services added to it, I think. I don't think this was a complete list. It's like, Auth0 is not on here.
Yeah. I expect the list to grow over time, so yeah. It's more the design of it or the idea behind it I want to make sure people are okay with, and it sounds like everybody's sort of okay with that.
Hey, Doc, I have a question. Is this link also in the white paper? I saw two. One is serverless, right? This is like backend as a service. There are two links, different links.
No, we don't have two different links. We just have one link to the entire spreadsheet itself.
Oh, this is one spreadsheet.
Yeah,
right?
one spreadsheet with multiple tabs.
Oh, I see. Got it. Oh, okay, got it. Thanks. Oh, I see.
Okay. All right. So going back into the agenda, if we think we're basically done with the white paper and the spreadsheet, let's go. I already have it. Let's go and take a look at Ken's draft for the TOC presentation. Let's see. I don't see Ken on the call yet. So okay, let me go and just walk through it. And I don't know what state Ken left this in terms of whether he thought it was complete or not, but he did share it with Mark and myself, so I thought I'd share it with you guys without actually getting his permission, so hopefully he's okay with that. But I'll let you guys look at this. I took a look at it, and it looks like it's fairly complete and accurate representation of what we're doing. So here he just talks about an overview of the group itself with links to the white paper and the service landscape doc, and of course the link to our GitHub repo. Come on, boy, my machine's just dying. Okay, so here is basically talking about our goals, right? Define the common terminology, landscape of the current state of the community, and then identify potential next steps that may or may not happen within the CNCF. And then obviously the big thing is to create a white paper on serverless and talk about its relationship to cloud native. I think you did a good job here of basically summarizing our objectives. Then he pulled out the major themes of the white paper itself serverless versus serverless technology is obviously one of the major ones, and also trying to differentiate us from the other types of ASs out there. And of course, the use cases, when it's appropriate to use serverless versus not. And then we go into a little bit of, I think by this last bullet, he means a little bit more of the technical details behind some of the things like, the structure of serverless frameworks and stuff like that. And that's when he starts, that's when he introduced the eventing and other key features or other key technologies that are related. And then finally, he talks about the next steps. Obviously, the white paper is done, so we'd like to see it released as an official CNCF document. And then he basically here enumerates the things in our conclusion section about possible next steps for the CNCF. In particular, things like looking to, I'm not sure we want to use the word standards here. We need to talk about that because I know standards is a scary word to some people in the TOC, so I may need to use a different word like harmonization or something like that. I'll talk to Ken about that. Encourage more
actually, some of this was things that I put together, and I think I lifted that directly from the next steps in the white paper.
Okay, and then we should probably just double check and make sure we want to use that word in both places then.
Right.
Yeah. I'll take the AI to do that. Hold on, let me make a note. Okay, I'll look into that one.
Actually, Doc, in the next step, there's in addition to the eventing function, signature runtime, and there's also a function workflow like AWS step function, Microsoft app, function app, and also Huawei has function graph. So we may want to add that function. Function. Or maybe a separate item, function workflow, I think, because
my only concern there is it might push it off the bottom of the page, but let's see how it looks.
Function workflow.
So hold on, boy, my machine is getting ready to really die. It's going so slow. There we go.
Okay. Good, yeah.
Yep. And then, of course, encourage more serverless technologies to be brought into CNCF as new projects. We talk about education, and then provide guidance on the characteristics of serverless versus containers as a service or PaaS as a service. So to me, the last two are sort of just education material more than anything else. Now, the last slide talks about the specific asks of the TOC. And I think it basically comes down to ask them to review and agree to release the white paper as an official CNCF doc, and then agree to continue or just start up these harmonization efforts and start with the eventing specification that's currently being discussed among the group. Now, whether we actually start a new working group or keep the existing one, we could leave it up to the TOC. Personally, I see no reason to try to create a new one. We might as well, keep the current group intact, unless people think the word serverless in the title is misleading and it should be called eventing or something like that. But we can worry about that later. But so let me open the floor.
Some of these efforts are not specific to serverless, such as eventing, but I think that since we have the momentum on it, we might as well keep it within this working group.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. So with that, are there any questions or comments? This is the basic. Oh, hey, Ken, I see you're on now. I hope you're okay with me sharing the doc.
Oh, I have a question. So in the next step right here, I think should we consider also working on the deployment tools? No, the last slide 6. Yeah. So to agree to the work group to explore also because in the next step in our white paper we have a deployment tools, Amazon SAM. I guess the other company have different ways to do the deployment.
So I guess the question then for us to consider is, would we ask the TOC to start up parallel projects, or do we want to try to serialize them in some way? Because to be honest, when this bullet was put here on this slide, I wasn't assuming that was the only thing we're going to be looking at, right? Because we mentioned a whole bunch of other things over here. I just wasn't sure whether we wanted to ask the TOC to start up, 5 different working groups all at once for each of the various topics, or try to serialize it a little. Does anybody have an opinion?
Yeah, okay, I guess I'm fine. If we can start in sequence, that's okay. Because we don't have that many people anyway to divide it into many groups.
That was part of my concern, yes.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So, any other questions, comments, concerns?
And feel free to I don't think we present this for another week, right? So you guys can send me your thoughts too on this between now and then. I can incorporate them.
Well, technically it's November 7th, so it's a little less than a week.
So it's it's next Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm not
I want to
hearing
thank Mark publicly because he provided most of the content and it was great. So thanks for that, Mark.
There you go.
Oh, no problem.
Stealing/sharing content is always good. Yes.
It was a collaboration effort.
Right.
Because a lot of the content came from the white paper as well.
Yeah. All right. Any other comments on this one before we move on? All right. Next on the agenda, I had the status of the eventing talks. Now, I think I just saw a message go flying by my screen that Austin can't make the call today. And hold on. I know Matt isn't on the call, and I don't see you're on the call. So we may want to defer a discussion about the eventing talk, other than to say, I did get a note from Austin a couple of days ago saying that he's been talking with Joran about some sort of harmonization between their 2 documents, and he made it sound like they're making a lot of good progress. He had not had a chance to sync up with Matt Rakowski from IBM to do some sort of syncing up there, but he did that. He did have that on his to-do list, so hopefully we'll get to that soon. And I believe he said he was going to hopefully submit a PR to our working group for an updated doc relatively soon. I think it was within the next week or 2. So keep an eye out for that. I think that's about it, unless someone else has other comments or things related to the eventing stuff. All right, not hearing any. Last time on the agenda was I had an AI from last week to try to find a meeting room for us at KubeCon, or I'm sorry, CNCF/KubeCon. I did email Dan Kahn about that, and he's thinking maybe we could do it after the booth crawl on Wednesday, which it ends at around 8:00 p.m. So I'll let you guys know if we can actually get that room, and we'll get that finalized hopefully. But other than that, that's it for the agenda. Are there any other topics people would like to bring up? Going once?
So is that for the meet? Is that Wednesday or Thursday? Or
It would be Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, hold on. Let me make that in there. There we go, on Wednesday, yes.
Okay, good, thanks.
Yep. All right, last chance, any other business? All right, in that case, I think we are done for the day. Thank you all for joining, and hopefully by next Thursday we'll have some news back about how the meeting with the TOC went, and hopefully it'll be good. Thank you all very much.
Great, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.